It's amazing how quickly they went from the idea to the construction of a huge factory that was liquid-cooled, electrified, and approved. To the best of my knowledge, just one individual on the planet is capable of doing that. Elon has a unique understanding of engineering, building, huge systems, and resource marshaling. Yes, it's simply unreal. His engineering team is exceptional, of course. The infrastructure team, networking team, and software team are all excellent. Elon is well aware of this. From the time we made the decision to leave, our engineering team, networking team, infrastructure computing team, software team, and everyone else planned ahead. First, when accomplishment is merited, it should be acknowledged. From the original idea to a data center that is prepared for NVIDIA to have our equipment there, to the time we turned it on, connected everything, and it completed its initial training, followed by the infrastructure, logistics, and quantity of technology and equipment that arrived that day. Additionally, NVIDIA's processing infrastructure, and all of that technology for training in just 19 days. In the first place, 19 days is amazing, but it's also sort of great to stand back and consider how many days that is. Only a few weeks remain. If you have ever seen the mountain of technology, it is truly astounding. The wiring and networking, as well as the fact that networking NVIDIA equipment differs greatly from networking hyperscale data centers. All of the wires that enter a single node, such as the rear of a computer, are wires. It's amazing just to get all the applications and this mountain of technology interconnected. Therefore, I believe that what Elon and the X team accomplished is unique, and I'm grateful that he recognizes the engineering work we did with him, the planning work, and everything else. No one has ever done it before. For comparison, a supercomputer with 100,000 GPUs is undoubtedly the fastest in the world. One cluster, that is. Planning a supercomputer typically takes 3 years, after which the equipment is delivered, and it takes a year to get everything operational. Everything is already functioning after just 19 days. There are, of course, a lot of X algorithms, X frameworks, X stacks, and the like, and we have a lot of integration to perform, but the planning was exceptional. Only the preliminary planning. It's no longer enough to watch Tesla's remarkable progress from the sidelines, though. Seeking Alpha is your one-stop shop for the most recent information on Tesla, Elon Musk, Tesla innovation, and stock price targets for bulls and those with an eye for finding the next big thing in the stock market. Our channel may receive a commission if a customer makes a purchase after clicking on the affiliate links in the description. In my opinion, distributed training will need to be successful, distributed computing will be developed, federated learning of some kind will be found, and asynchronous distributed computing will be discovered. I am quite excited and hopeful about these developments. Naturally, the important thing to understand is that pre-training was formerly the focus of the scaling law. We've now moved on to multimodality. We've switched to creating synthetic data. Since then, post-training has grown tremendously. Inference scaling, reinforcement learning, reward systems, and MH synthetic data production have all skyrocketed. The notion that a model has conducted 10,000 internal inferences before it responds to your query is probably not irrational, and it has most likely conducted research. On that, reinforcement learning has most likely been used. It has most likely performed some simulation. It's undoubtedly done a great deal of introspection. It most likely examined some information and searched up some facts. Isn't that correct? His context is therefore most likely quite broad. Well, this kind of intellect is, we do it. Is that not what we do? Therefore, if you simply performed the calculation and added up the model and compute sizes 4 times a year, you would see that the scaling is possible. At the same time, the demand for usage is still increasing. Do we believe that millions of GPUs are necessary? Definitely. That is now a given. Therefore, how do we design it from the standpoint of a data center? And that has a lot to do with whether data centers are 150 megawatts or GWs at a time, And it seems to me that you will receive both. Today's and why, from the standpoint of computer science, is so important. The majority of today's computing experience is retrieval-based. We touch our phones, and even though we believe they consume very little energy, each time we touch them, they send REST APIs to all over the world and retrieve data. When the internet is lit up, it retrieves a small amount of information from each of these data centers, compiles it using a recommender system, and then displays it to you. Going on, it will be more contextual and generative, with a small language model operating directly on the device. There will be a significant decrease in internet traffic, and it will be more generative with some retrieval to supplement correct. As a result, the near generation will experience a significant shift in the reputational balance. This is really, it's extremely practical and will save a lot of energy. And the explanation for that is this. Picture every question Ali poses to me. I have to get back to my office, retrieve some data, fill it out, and show it to him. He can then choose which information he wants to keep for himself. Instead, I'm producing everything right now, as we speak, from roughly 25 watts. As a result, the computer paradigm will undergo a complete transformation, and we will save an incredible amount of energy. Thus, this computing method will result in significant energy savings. Naturally, we will obtain our replies much more quickly. We will have more questions rather than sifting through things, which is actually the big concept about the future that working with AIs is provoking. Because we will have a large number of answers in a short period of time, we will have a lot more intriguing questions. Indeed, this is a huge deal. We can no longer afford to do nothing with software and hope that it will continue to advance our computing experience, lower prices, and spread its advantages while resolving ever-increasing problems. Acceleration might be beneficial for certain applications, according to our vision. By augmenting general-purpose computing, we could offload the very computationally demanding workload and speed it up using a paradigm that allowed us to significantly speed up applications. That accelerating advantage is similar to Moore's law. We have the advantages of accelerated computing to actualize that capability for applications that were not feasible or feasible to execute with general-purpose computing. The vast language models and the basic AI skills, for instance, have advanced to the point where we can now develop what are known as agents, according to AI Enterprise. Large language models that comprehend the data that is being provided, of course, might be any type of data, including streaming, video, language model, and other types of data. Perception is the first step, followed by reasoning about the purpose and task it must do in light of its observations. The agent would break that task down into steps or other tasks, think about how long it would take, and connect with other AI models. Some of these models are good at producing things like understanding PDFs. Others may be able to generate images. Still others may be able to retrieve information, such as asemantic data from a proprietary database. Thus, the central idea is linked to each of these huge language models.